She vanished. Now she has returned. What do you do? That is the question every man has asked himself at some point. One day she is all over you, replying instantly, laughing at your jokes, acting as if you were the one. Suddenly, silence. Days pass, perhaps weeks, no explanation, no "I have been busy," nothing, she simply disappeared. But just when you finally begin to move on, ding, a notification pops up. Hey stranger, this is where the majority of men go wrong. They react like starving dogs being thrown a scrap of meat, desperate, grateful, anxious. But let us make something clear. You are not an option. You are not plan B. You are the prize. This video is not about playing games. It is about having self-respect, emotional discipline, and understanding how attraction actually works. Because here is the uncomfortable truth. A woman's silence is often not an accident. It is a test. She is watching how you respond. Are you too available, too forgiving, too emotional? Or do you carry yourself like a man who knows his worth? This is where most men lose their power by making her return too easy, by acting as if nothing happened. But she knows she disappeared, so when she texts you after a silence, your reaction is a moment of truth. This video will show you 10 real reasons why she might text you again and how to respond to each one without looking weak, needy, or bitter. Whether she ghosted you, ignored you, or simply needed space, there is a smart and sensible way to handle it. Let us be clear, this is not about being cold. It is about being clear. It is about setting the tone from the very first reply. If you want her to respect you, desire you, and maybe even regret ignoring you, this is how you must do it. So stop guessing, stop overthinking, and stop giving away your energy. Let us speak like men. Let us get to the point. 1. Why did she really text you again? Let us cut through the noise. When she writes to you after silence, it is not random. It is calculated, maybe not consciously, but emotionally. Women do not accidentally contact a guy they ignored. There is always a reason, and the first thing you must understand is this. It is not always about you. Sometimes she is bored, sometimes she ran out of other options. Sometimes she feels lonely, insecure, or simply curious to know if she can still reach you. Yes, it sounds harsh, but it is reality, and you have to stop romanticizing that message. Do not turn a "hey you" into a "I am sure she misses me." Most likely she missed the attention, not necessarily you. And this is where you have to be sharp. You have to read between the lines, not just read the text. Let us say you were talking for a while, everything was going well, and suddenly she vanished. Maybe you reached out, maybe not, but she was gone. Days passed, weeks passed. Then she says something like, "Hey, sorry for not being around. Things have been weird. Haha." Stop right there. That is not an apology. That is a casual excuse. And what is behind it? One of the possible motives. 1. Validation. She wants to feel desired again, and you are an easy source. 2. Control. She wants to see if she still holds power over you. 3. Curiosity. She is checking if you have moved on. 4. Rebound energy. The guy she chose instead of you just left. 5. Testing the waters. She wants to come back, but on her terms. This is what you must do. Do not rush to reply or believe her. When a woman disappears and returns, she rarely does it out of pure nostalgia. It is about how she feels in that moment, and if you confirm it with a warm and enthusiastic response, guess what? You just told her, "You can disappear, and I will still be here." That is not attractive. That is availability without standards. Instead, take your time, keep it calm, demonstrate emotional control. If you respond, do it neutrally and respectfully. For example, she says, "Hi, how have you been?" You say, "Didn't expect to hear from you. Everything is good on my end." Short, calm, clear. It shows confidence. You are not bitter, you are not chasing, you are observing. That is what generates respect. That is what sparks her curiosity. 2. Do not respond immediately. I mean it. Do not do it. When she suddenly reappears in your messages after ignoring you, the worst thing you can do is reply in seconds. Why? Because it screams availability. It shows you have been waiting, even if you have been waiting, even if her message made your heart race. Pause. Breathe. Remember who you are. A man who respects himself never rushes, especially for someone who left without explanation. Here is the thing. Women notice your reaction time, not just your words. If you reply fast after being ignored for days or weeks, it tells her you have nothing else to do, that you are emotionally on standby, hoping she throws you crumbs again. Do you know what that does? It kills attraction. It tells her she is needed, and the moment she knows that, you stop being a challenge. You are simply easy. What should you do then? Take your time. A few hours, maybe a day. Do not ignore her forever, that is petty. But give her silence first. Let her feel the same space she made you sit in. Let her reflect. This is not revenge, it is balance. If she notices you do not rush to answer, one of two things will happen. 1, she will feel curious. Wait, why isn't he replying? 2, she will start to respect you. That is the unexpected effect of restraint. Men who value their time do not give it instantly. They pause, observe, calculate. That is attractive. This is what many forget. Whoever controls the pace controls the frame. And right now, if you answer too fast, you are losing that control. Let her think about her decision to disappear. Let her feel your absence before paying attention to her again. That is not manipulation. That is normal. It is the way to stop being her emotional safety net and go back to being the man who sparks her curiosity. 3, match her energy, not her words. Let us be honest, words are easy to say, especially in messages. She might say, "I missed you," or "I have been thinking about you," but her energy says everything. And this is where many men go wrong. They respond to the sweet words, not the vibe she is broadcasting. This is what you must understand. When a woman reaches out after silence, she might be saying nice things, but if her energy is dry, cold, or vague, that is the truth. Do not fall into the emotional trap if her actions do not match. This is where maturity comes into play. You do not react to her words, you mirror her tone. If she sends a careless hi after a long silence, and you reply with a full paragraph like, "Hey, so good to hear from you. I have been thinking about you too. How have you been?" You have already lost. You are giving more than you receive. You are chasing. Instead, give her what she gives. If she has low energy, keep it cool. If she is playful, match her example, but do not overdo it. You are not trying to win her back, but seeing if she is still worth it. Matching her energy keeps you grounded. It shows you are not desperate. You are not trying to prove anything. You simply respond with what you get, and that is power. Men who match energy do not get manipulated, do not get fooled. They know how to interpret emotional tone, and women notice it. It tells them, this guy is not reacting to me, he is aware. The truth is, if you keep bringing high energy when she gives little effort, she will start seeing you as someone she can control emotionally. Someone who will always be there regardless of how she treats you. Do not be that guy. Matching her energy protects your confidence. It keeps the conversation honest. If she really wants to reconnect, her energy will show it. If not, you will notice too, and you can move on without bitterness. It is not about playing hard to get, it is about acting with intelligence. And the smart thing is always to observe, reflect, and decide, not overflow at the first sign of attention. 4. Ignore the "hey stranger" trap. Let us talk about one of the most common, lazy, and strategic messages women send after silence. "Hey stranger." It sounds cute, casual, harmless, right? False. It is a psychological play. That "hey stranger" is not just to check in, but to flip the script. Instead of addressing the fact that she disappeared, she blames you. Think about it. She ignored you. She stopped replying. She vanished without reason, but now she returns. And suddenly, you are the stranger. That is manipulation disguised as emojis. This is a trap, and most men fall into it. They reply, "Haha, yeah, it has been a long time. How have you been?" And just like that, all accountability is gone. She is welcomed back without having to explain, without consequences, without awkwardness, nothing. You have to stop allowing women to re-enter your life as if nothing happened. A woman who truly respects you, who is sincerely sorry, will not start with "hey stranger." She will say, "Sorry for going quiet, I wasn't doing well," or "I know I disappeared, but I wanted to reach out and explain." But most do not do that. Why? Because they are not trying to fix anything. They are just trying to see if you are still available. So when you get that "Hey stranger" message, understand it. It is not funny. It is a temperature check. She wants to see if the door is still open without making the effort to earn it. And if you fall for the trap, if you reward low effort with high engagement, you are telling her, you can disrespect me, disappear, and I will still make it easy for you. That is weak. And men who move like that do not get long-term respect. Here is the raw reality. Many men allow women back into their lives just because it makes them feel good. They ignore the silence, the disrespect, the inconsistency. Why? Because they fear not having another chance. But you do not need to act from fear. You need to act from value. Your time, your attention, your peace are expensive. Start acting like it. You are not a stranger. You were ignored. Do not let her act as if that did not happen. It is time to stop being soft. It is time to start being sharp. 5. Check if she is testing you. Here is a tough pill to swallow. When she texts suddenly, especially after ignoring you, it is very likely not genuine curiosity, but a test, a discreet and calculated test to see if you are still emotionally available. And you know what? Most guys fail it in seconds. Women test without saying it. They want to know, are you still emotionally hooked? Will you chase her again? Have you moved on, or are you just waiting? And how you respond tells her everything. If she ignored you, disappeared without explanation, and now sends a casual "hi," she might not even care about your answer. She just wants to see if you answer. She wants to feel that she still has access to you. That is why your answer must be solid. Nothing emotional, not sarcastic, not needy, controlled, observant, neutral. When you pass the test by taking your time without chasing her, without feeding her ego, you send a message without saying much. I am not going to play that game. But if you fail the test by being too enthusiastic, too anxious, too forgiving, you tell her, I am still at your command. Let us be realistic. Women do not come back to close the topic. They come back to clarify things. And if she is testing you, it means you still have value to her. But what she is really trying to decide is if that value still belongs to her. Men who understand tests do not take things personally, do not explode or overthink. They simply recognize it and respond with calm and confidence. The moment you realize it might be a test, you regain control. You stop reacting emotionally. Stop trying to win her back. You simply observe, respond, and decide if she deserves your time now. That is what strong men do. They lead with clarity, not confusion. So when you get the message, ask yourself, is she really trying to reconnect, or does she just want to see if I am still in her world? Because if it is a test, you already know the answer. 6. When to be direct and when to be distant. There are times to be calm, composed, and indecipherable, and times to be clear, bold, and honest without apology. Most men make mistakes because they do not know which moment suits them. They become too soft too soon or too hard too fast. Here is how to play it smartly. If she is vague, you stay distant. If she is clear, you are direct. Let us break it down. If she writes a weak and open message like, hey, just thought of you, or what's up? After weeks of ignoring you, it is vague, it is low effort. She is just testing the waters, not diving in. So do not show her your full version. Respond calmly, briefly, and distantly. It is not rude. It is not bitter. You are simply not emotionally available. Let her work to get your presence again. That is called standards. But if she writes with total clarity, like, look, I know I left you hanging, I shouldn't have done that, can we talk? That is when you switch your attitude and be direct. You say what needs to be said. Maybe it is, yes, I am open to chatting, but I didn't like how you disappeared. We need to talk about that. Clear, masculine, no drama. Do you see the difference? Being always distant makes you cold, inaccessible. That is not attractive either. But being too open when she hasn't earned it, that is how you get fooled. The key is this: her effort determines your energy. Her honesty earns your presence. Until then, stay alert, not out of fear, but out of self-respect. Most guys look for vague messages hoping to force something deeper. Do not do it. Let her show you her true self and match it with clarity or composure. A man who knows when to speak and when to pull back is a man who earns respect. 7. How to avoid looking desperate. Desperation kills attraction fast. And the sad thing is, most guys do not even realize they are doing it. It is not always in your words, but in your pace, tone, and energy. When she texts you after disappearing, everything in your response tells her exactly how you feel about yourself. Desperation looks like this: replying too fast, explaining too much, asking, "Why did you stop texting me?" Trying to reignite the vibe too quickly, acting as if nothing happened. Each of those signals says, "I have no better options. I need you to choose me." That is not attractive, not because men cannot feel things, but because those who seek validation lose their power. If you do not want to seem desperate, the first rule is, act as if her message was not the best thing of the day. You can be glad she wrote, you can be curious, but do not pretend you have been waiting by the phone. Keep your answers brief, serene, and a bit distant, especially at the start. Do not ask questions to keep the conversation alive. Let her do the work. Let her drive the reconnection. If she wants to come back into your life, she will show it. You do not have to force her. Another key: do not try to clear things up too soon. Most men rush into the conversation of, "Why did you stop talking to me?" out of emotional panic. They need closure, but that tells her, you have been obsessing. The best move: keep it calm, let her talk. Observe how much she says on her own. If she does not take responsibility, that is your answer. If she does, you can be honest with your thoughts, but do not seek explanations. Watch her effort. Confidence is not loud, it is quiet. It is in the pause before replying. It is in the decision not to open your heart just because she resurfaced. The most powerful man in the room is the one who can walk away without anger and without begging. So when she writes, do not make her feel like she saved your day. Make her feel like she just walked into yours. 8. Should you even reply? Let us stop pretending every message deserves your attention. Just because she finally wrote does not mean you have to answer. In fact, one of the most powerful decisions a man can make is deciding not to respond and being at peace with it. This is the truth most men ignore. Silence is an answer, and sometimes it is the only one that truly conveys an impression. If she ignored you without warning, without explanation, and now sends random texts as if nothing happened, ask yourself this: has she earned a reply? Because many women do not return to build, but to verify. They want to know if the door is still open, if you are still an option, if they can come back in whenever they feel like it. And if you always answer, you are telling them, yes, I am always available, even when you disappear. But what message do you convey when you do not reply? You are not resentful, you are not rude, you are simply done. No drama, no closure, just silence. It tells her, that window closed. And sometimes that is the only way she will truly respect you, when she realizes she no longer has access to you. Let us be fair, not all situations deserve being ignored. If she makes a real effort, offers a clear apology, or has a clear intention to reconnect, you can consider replying. But if it is a weak hi or bait without effort after ignoring you for weeks, you owe her nothing. You are not obligated to be nice to those who took advantage of your time. That is called having character. Most guys fear not replying because they think they will lose the opportunity. But here is the point. You lose nothing by ignoring someone who already treated you as if you did not matter. You gain peace, control, power. Not replying is a decision, and only confident men are willing to make it. Ask yourself, would you reply to someone who ignored you in real life and suddenly acted as if nothing happened? Exactly. Sometimes silence is the strongest message you can send. 9. What her timing says about her. The moment matters, and a lot. When she decides to text you again, tells you everything you need to know, not just about her feelings, but also about her intentions. If she calls late at night, that is not affection, that is convenience. And if it is a Friday or Saturday night, just before or after going out, that is not connection, that is boredom or rejection by someone else. If she suddenly writes after posting thirst traps or being quiet on social media, that is not interest, that is insecurity, seeking your attention to feel relevant again. Pay attention to patterns, not just messages. Men get lost trying to decipher what she said instead of realizing when she said it. An "I miss you" at 2 in the morning does not carry the same weight as a "Can we talk" at 2 in the afternoon on a weekday. Ask yourself, is she consistent in her communication? Does she only contact you when she feels lonely? Does she text after a breakup or a fight with another guy? Many women will not tell you they use you as emotional support, but the timing reveals it. If she only writes when she is down, you are not the man she wants, but the one who helps her feel desired. Stop romanticizing her reappearance. Look at the timing. It says more than her words. If her message only appears when she needs an ego boost or has nothing else to do, the only correct response is to distance yourself. Protect your peace. Because if she only contacts you when it suits her, then you were never in her plans. 10. Reclaiming the frame. Now you set the conditions. If she returns to your life, it does not mean she is back on your terms unless you force it to be so. Too many men hand control back to her the moment she returns. Suddenly, she sets the pace, controls the vibe, decides when and how things move. And that is a mistake. When someone leaves and comes back, the balance has to shift. It is not simply about picking up where you left off, but reframing it. This means you decide if the conversation continues. You control the pace. No consecutive messages or instant replies. You ask the real questions. What made you reach out now? Do not reopen the door emotionally unless she demonstrates genuine effort. You do not need to be rude, but you need to be firm. Reclaiming the frame means you do not react. You decide. You do not hope she stays. You see if she deserves to stay. Once she knows you are not falling back into old patterns, she either levels up or leaves. And if she leaves, let her. Because strong men do not seek closure. They live with clarity. That is how you protect your value, your time, and your energy. You set the standard and stick to it. We stick with this. If she can disappear without a word and return without consequences, why would she respect you? Read that again. Your time, your energy, your peace is not something she can experience like a sudden mood swing. And if you allow it, you are not being kind. You are being forgettable. It is not about being cold. It is about being clear. If a woman disappears and then reappears, your response will teach her how to treat you in the future. Either you raise the standard or get recycled like the others. Tell me, have you ever received a "Hey stranger" text late at night? Did you reply? Did you stand your ground? I want to hear from you. Leave a comment with your experience, your thoughts, or even your regrets. I will read them all. I want to connect with those who are truly improving and moving differently because, trust me, it is not just about her. It is about you becoming a version of yourself that no longer accepts half-hearted effort.